Welcome to Warriors Quest. I am so excited to do another show tonight. Man, it's going to be great. We've got a great co-host. I mean, wow, when I heard the co-host for this show, I was elated. I'm super excited to have this co-host. And then we've got a great guest that's coming on the show tonight too. So it's a Warriors Quest show, everybody. It's a Warriors call. So everybody, let's bring all the warriors to watch this show. I'm gonna bring the co-host on, and wow, okay, this co-host, she has my last name. We might as well be family, okay? So I'm gonna bring on Courtney Brown. I'm excited to talk to Courtney.
Hey, Jared, how are you?
Hi, Courtney. I'm doing great. I'm ecstatic to have you on the show tonight. I mean, I listened to the show last night, and you and Sorrel just hit it off. You have a good chemistry with the two of you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me tonight. I am honored to be on your show. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, man. I'm excited, seriously, because I'm a big fan of yours. I mean, you go through so much, and I can only imagine your day-to-day struggle. And so I am a big fan. I mean, I admire your strength and your endurance, everything you do.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's hard, but I'm gonna fight.
Yes, you are. You're a fighter. Yes, you are. So, give me a little bit about your story, your background, so that people that may not have heard it or may not know you very well can kind of get to know, your beginning and what you've been through recently.
Okay, well, my dialysis journey started in 2006. It didn't come from diabetes or anything like that. It came from a simple medication called Avalox as well as contrast dye. I was working and going to college studying graphic design, and suddenly my world was turned upside down. I caught pneumonia, went to the ER. They gave me medicine to treat it. That caused a little bit of kidney damage that could have been reversed had they not just put me straight into the MRI machine without checking my numbers. And on top of that, after the Avalox was given, I got an MRI for a seizure that I had afterwards. So they put me in the MRI with contrast dye, and that shut
Wow.
everything down. My heart stopped. I had another seizure. I had several sickle cell crises. It was
Wow.
horrible, but I made it through, and I'm going on 2 years post transplant come October 18th. So I'm doing good.
Wow, what a journey. So, when you had that seizure, had you ever had seizures before this happened?
No, never. The seizure came from effect of the Avalox. So once they gave me
Okay.
that, that's what caused the
Uh-huh.
seizure. And then to see what caused the seizure, that's why they put me into the MRI.
Wow. That's nuts. I've got a close friend who's prone to seizures, and she's a coworker of mine, and and I sit by her, and I'm kind of like the designated person if she ever has a seizure at work. So I have a very small understanding of what to do when someone has a seizure. But what was going through your mind when that was happening?
I was so out of it, I didn't even know what was going on. My family
Uh-huh.
told me everything. I was completely out of it. All I remember was just being in the ER and them giving me the medication. After that, I don't remember anything. But once all of that happened, um, I was on life support. My heart stopped. They had to revive me and bring me back. During that time, I heard God's voice and I saw him, and he told me it was going to be okay. And so by this time, they took me off of the machine to see if I could breathe on my own. And
Uh-huh.
lo and behold, I started breathing on my own. And that's where I can pick up my story from me, starting to recover from all of that. It was definitely
Okay.
a challenge.
All right. Okay. So that all started in 2006?
Yes. So I did dialysis for 12 years after that.
Wow. You were on dialysis for 12 years.
Yes. And I had no idea about a transplant list or anything. So I would say maybe about 5 years ago is when I learned about the transplant list. I was on dialysis
Uh-huh.
all of those years and had no idea about it. And then I was placed on the list. I waited for about 5 years, and then I got the call. I was ready to give up, and just when I was ready to give up my battle, I got that call, and the rest
Wow.
was history. I feel so much better now. It's just a new life. Being off that machine, it feels great.
I can only imagine. Wow,
Yes,
I mean that all that time, and being on dialysis for so long, you know, it, wow. I mean, seriously. I mean, I feel for people that have been on dialysis for so long because each person reacts differently. I get that, but
yes,
it it wipes you out. You're fatigued. You feel like zero energy when you're on it, and then you feel zero energy when you're off it.
yes,
And
and it's, I'm
wow.
sorry. It's even worse when you have sickle cell because your blood is being cleaned, and then by the sickle cell being present, that makes it harder on itself, like on it in itself. Just battling that alone is hard, and then you have dialysis on top.
True.
It was just a lot. I went through
Yeah.
everything you could go through while on dialysis:
Uh-huh.
clotting, bleeding, passing out on the machine, pulling too much fluids off. I mean, the whole shebang. But it's something we have to do if we want to, stay alive, right?
That's right. You're a fighter. You are. And I when when you when you're going through this, you've got not just the kidney disease, but you're going through the other stuff as well. So, honestly, accolades, kudos, mad props, because, it that's what happens, to a lot of us. But a fighter has to dig deep, and you
Yeah,
do, it's yeah, just as you put it, it's not easy. There are so many difficult things that you're going through, but you dig deep, and one of the things that I see that I presume, and I think it is right when I say this, that helps you dig deep is your little one, right?
oh yes, definitely. He keeps me going. He needs me, so I can't give up. I cannot
Uh-huh.
give up. He needs mommy. He needs family. He needs everybody. So no, giving up is not an option for me. I'm gonna fight this until the wheels fall off. He's a big my everything. He's a miracle baby. I carried him while I was on dialysis. I had
Mhm.
him while I was on dialysis. I did it 6 days a week, and everything was fine. He came out perfectly fine. A little premature, but everything was fine by the grace of God.
Wow. Through the grace of God is exactly it. I mean, it's that when you have something that helps you pull through something like this, that's something that God is allowing you more time on this earth is because of reasons like your son, and keeps you grounded and helps you remember why it's worthwhile to live, and
Yeah,
other reasons like that. And you know the grace of God helps us do more than what we should be doing, because
absolutely.
God knows that we have limits, and grace helps us do more than those limits.
That's right.
So um, I know that my loved ones help me do more too. I've got my son right here. I don't. This is my son. He's
Oh,
8 years old.
hi. He's so
You say
handsome.
hi.
Hi. How are you?
Good.
He's so handsome.
So tell him that I'm busy right now, but let him know that I'll finish up soon. Okay. So he's got someone come to the door, and he's coming down to tell me there's somebody at the door.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah,
Life goes on, right?
I know, right? So, Courtney, you know, your little one, how old is yours? Mine's 8 years old.
I have a 3-year old. His name is Carter. He's beautiful, vivacious, everything you could think of.
Nice, nice. Okay, so Carter, and he's 3 years old,
Yes.
and every time I see any of your videos that you do, he's always smiling. It seems like
Oh,
he's always in a pretty good mood.
Yes, he is. He's a very happy boy. I try to keep him happy, despite all that I'm going through. He knows mommy is sick, but that's the extent of it. I don't dwell in it. I try not to, be sad around him. So I don't want to put that on him. I just try to be happy and just keep going. You know, that's
Sure.
all I can do.
Uh-huh. Well, you do a good job. What you're going through on a day-to-day basis isn't easy, and I'm glad that you've got him to help you pull through your bad days, down days, whatever days you may have, and then to give him, to have him give you energy and to see him smile and to make sure that if something is going off, at least you've got that smile, and I know that my son, when he was born, he just gave me a lot more hope.
Yeah,
He gave me new hope when he was born, and
exactly.
so I'm thankful for what he does for me. I can only imagine what he may do for you as well.
Yes, it's definitely a blessing. Children are a blessing, definitely for sure.
Okay, all right. My son was just talking to me, Courtney. Sorry
It's
about that.
okay, no problem.
All right,
He's
so
upstairs with grandma right now, so
all right, very nice.
yeah.
So, well, what I'd like to do is I'd like to bring our guest on, and I'm excited to have you as the co-host because you may already know her, but I'll bring her on board, and you and I can talk to her. She's someone I've interacted with on Facebook a little bit, and I've made a couple of posters for her, and I've gotten to know her a little bit, and her story is really, really unique. So I'd like to bring on Bridget Kandy Rayne Thomas. Do you know her?
I've seen one of her shows before, yes.
Okay, yeah, she's been on a couple of Steve's shows.
Yes.
Um, and so I'd love to bring her on board. She has a great, unique story, and I'm happy to bring her on board. A lot of warriors are going to be uplifted. They're going to smile. They're going to be motivated by what she does. And so, with no further ado, please give a warm welcome to this kidney warrior, Bridget. Come on up, warriors. Let's welcome Bridget.
Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone this evening?
Oh,
Good.
I'm great. It's great to have you on the Warriors Quest show,
Oh,
Bridget.
thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I truly do.
You're
Glad to hear
welcome. You're somebody that's been on my mind regularly because of your story and what you do with your husband. I mean, it's a great, unique story. Not everybody has, and that's what's so great about this community is that it's kind of like a snowflake. There's not really the same story with everybody. It's
it.
There's
and
some
yours is.
similarities, but
I know,
everyone is
right?
different. We're all
Uh huh.
individuals, and that's what it is. And what I like about what you and Steve are doing is that you're putting those puzzle pieces together. Because one of
Mm-hmm.
the things that I realized being a kidney patient, and it's been 7 years now, so it's been since 2012.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was so fragmented, and it seemed like everyone wasn't on the same page. You get one thing from one person and another thing from another person, and then we're kind of left out there hanging to dry. And
Spending for yourself.
yeah, that's never been me and how I was.
No.
Now, when my kidneys failed, I kind of had an idea that it was coming, but I also went through that denial with it. Like, it ain't gonna happen to me. You know
Uh
what I mean?
huh.
I'm gonna rock this out, as long as I can. And
Right.
then I got to a point where I was like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. Like this is really wearing me down. And I did notice after I started treating, I felt better than I was because I was feeling like crap before.
Okay.
So
All right.
I wasn't feeling like total crap. If that makes any kind of sense. So
Yes.
just,
So there's a
getting my,
marginal increase
yeah, right,
in how you
exactly.
felt.
Yeah, yeah. So I noticed as I wasn't satisfied with the social workers and what they were telling me and the resources that they were giving me. I'm going to find it for myself because, I'm not going to wait for somebody to tell me it's raining. I'm going to check the weather report. I'm going to look outside. You know what I mean? I'm going to see
Uh-huh.
what it is that I can do to make a difference in my day. Because if I can avoid getting set off about something,
Uh-huh.
and it's something that I could have done, you know what I mean, to prevent it, then that's the way to
Yeah.
go. And then with that in mind, if I can share that with somebody to make their day easier or have them smile at the fact that someone cared enough to share that information with them, so that's where my, dialysis journey started. And then me being an advocate for other people.
For
Because,
others.
there were things just were, for lack of a better term, retarded to me. Like, why would you do that? Like that just didn't make
Right.
any good sense to me. So that's where things kind of went. And, my husband tells me all the time that I grew up like the Huxtables. I really didn't.
Like the
But
Huxtable from the
yeah,
Cosby Show.
yeah.
Okay.
He thinks I have this different outlook on life. Like everyone is good and everything is always going to be all right and there are no bad people in the world. And I know there are bad people in the world. I know there are disgruntled people in the world. And I
Uh-huh.
know there are just some people that are miserable. I'm not one of them. So if I can change your day, that's what I'm going to do. That
Yeah.
that
Yes,
that's
definitely.
how I am, and that's just kind of, like where I'm at with my journey. I know I had spoke with you before about when I was in Baltimore. One of the things I did, and not waiting for somebody to die for me to get a kidney, I started hosting a motorcycle ride
Mm-hmm.
because I have been in a motorcycle club for about 8 years prior to, and I am still riding and with my motorcycle club. I said, you know what? I know I'm not the only one. I know there
Right.
are other people that are out here riding, but keeping
Uh-huh.
it secret because they don't want the judgment that comes with having a terminal illness. People
Right.
find out that you are terminally ill. All of a sudden, you're fragile. You're about to break. They
Yep.
can't do this. You can't do that. They start being the food police towards
They
you. You know what I
they
mean?
see you
Mhm.
differently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like I'm still a human being. I'm still living.
Mm-hmm.
I have feelings. I have good days. I have bad days. But don't treat me like I'm a fragile egg. That if
Mm-hmm.
you touch me and I'm gonna fall apart. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? That
Yeah.
that type of thing. I give me the same respect that you would give someone else. I don't
Sure.
need your pity. I
Mhm.
No.
don't need your pity. I need you to be
No.
strong with me so that we can rock this thing on out. And
Absolutely. No,
that's
you
Oh,
how
love
shouldn't
I
that
have
do it.
pity
attitude.
because pity
That's how
means
you have to be. But
you know what, I love that, Bridget, because pity means that they see you as less of a person and you're
thank
not less of a
thank you. I have a lot to offer.
yes.
Contrary to what people may think, because I have this illness, I have a lot to offer. And
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot to offer myself first. And I know that I have to give it to me so that I can sustain. You know what I mean? So that I can be here. Because like you had said, you have a little guy. My children are older, but when I got sick, they were still in high school, and one was in grammar school, not yet
Mm-hmm.
to middle school. And all they know is that I need you, and all I know is this mom is going to be there. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm still going to be that mother. I'm still going to get in their tails when they act up. I'm still going to check homework. I'm going to tell you, I was the loudest, rowdiest mother on that football field for my youngest
Uh-huh.
son. They knew
Good
I
for
was
you.
coming through. You know what I mean?
Very
They knew.
nice.
And he used to get so upset at me. Ma, don't talk to the coach. Please don't talk to the coach. Because if you go talk to the coach, it's going to be a
Uh-huh.
problem. I'm going to have more laughs. You know what I mean?
He really said that? That's
So, I
funny.
mean, with this disease, you still have to live your life. You still got to be mommy.
Yeah.
You still got to
Yeah.
be that church member because they didn't let up on me. I had to be in that
Yeah.
choir stand
You know what?
singing.
What are
You know
the
what I mean? That's what it
what are
was.
the one of the things, Courtney, that I like about Bridget is that she speaks her mind.
Oh
You know, and
yes,
Yes, you have to. You
yeah,
definitely have to. That's great.
that's the
uh,
Capricorn in me. I can't do
Oh,
anything
I'm
about
a
it.
Capricorn too.
Are you really? See,
Yes,
very
look, there we go.
nice.
Look, there we
yes,
go, girl. There we
You
yes.
have
go.
that in common then. Very
We'll say
nice.
it. We don't care. We'll say it in a nice manner, but we're gonna say what we have to say.
You got to be
Yeah,
the point of clear and concise. That's what you got to
Yes.
be. And again, with this illness, I ain't got no time to be playing with you. I have no time to be playing games with you. I have life to live. You know
You
what I
have to
sure.
mean?
be
Your
your
time
own
is
advocate.
valuable, right?
And that's what brings me back to the motorcycle ride. Um,
Yeah.
I was hosting a motorcycle ride to bring awareness to diabetes and kidney disease and
Mm-hmm.
offer anyone the opportunity to come forward to be a living donor. And even if you weren't a match for me, I was giving that list to anyone that needed. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Okay, you might not be a match for me, but you'll be a match for somebody else. I noticed some people kind of got in their feelings about that because it was like, oh well, if I'm not giving my kidney to you, I don't want to give it to anybody else. So I was like, you're still saving a life. It
Exactly.
may
Yeah.
not be my life, but you're saving a life,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how important that it is. And unfortunately, with the hobby that I've chosen, there are people that do go down on their motorcycles and they, sustain injuries that they can't overcome. And when you think about it, if you have an untimely death, that'll be life for somebody else. There are so many organs that you can donate. So if
Mm-hmm.
you are doing something that you love and you're out there and something happens, give the gift of life. So I was able to get a
Amen.
lot of
Yes.
people to change their license over. Like
Uh-huh.
in the event, okay, you don't want to give it to me now. Okay. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But in the event
Uh-huh.
that something happens, you can bless somebody else in so many ways. It's not just your kidneys. You know what I mean? It's
No.
bone marrow, it's tissue.
Mm-hmm.
It could be your eyes, your heart,
Yep.
whatever it could, whatever it could be. So you can be a blessing. But we hosted this motorcycle ride. We would have anywhere from 150 down to the last ride we had about 50 riders, and we just rode through
Wow.
Maryland, bringing the awareness about so that people could
That is
see.
amazing.
It
And
Kudos
is.
to you. That is
thank
great.
you, thank you.
Yeah,
Well,
that
It's a
is
see,
good
a lot
idea.
awesome.
of the mission was, please understand, you still have life left in you. You can
Uh-huh.
do these things. So I was having a lot of ladies say to me, "Oh my God, I'm so glad you out there on that bike. You doing what you're doing, male dominated activity.
Mm-hmm.
Is bringing a lot of women to that forefront. But then for me to be a woman with a terminal
Sure.
illness that's still
Uh-huh.
rocking and rolling with the fellas, and do it. It was just like, wow, then I can do it too. And I'm like,
Sure.
I don't understand why anyone would think they couldn't do it. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
Well, but some people, some people have different limitations. And again, that's why I was excited to bring you on board tonight because of what you do. It's unique. And your story is motivational because not everybody has, not everybody has that sort of, you know, uh, me against the world attitude that you have. And I love that,
well, that's
because,
kind of, but you know what? I think a lot of people have it in them, but they just have other people in their ear. Oh, well, you can't do that. You shouldn't be
Yeah.
doing that. You know what I mean?
hmm
I hated when I originally got sick. The first thing people wanted to do was take my motorcycle keys. Oh, well, you're not riding that bike anymore. Why not? Why can't I? If I feel good, if I'm good enough to get up and drive into dialysis, I'm
uh-huh.
good enough to ride my bike to dialysis. And that's what
Yeah.
I used to do. People would look at me like, you got to be crazy. Why? I'm okay. And that's the wonderful thing. There's that clock in you, or
Uh-huh.
that they call it a motorcycle mojo. When
A
you get up in
motorcycle
that
what?
morning, motorcycle mojo.
Mojo. Okay.
Okay, so you have that feeling like, do I need to be on this bike today, or do I not need to be on this bike today? And it's just a common sense, and it's a feeling. You know what I mean? Like, should I? And now I'm not gonna do this today. You know, that bike will be there when I come back. You know, and if
Mm-hmm.
it's
Right.
one of those bad dialysis days, and I know, I'm over uh, fluid overload going on. If I know my potassium's off and I have
Mm-hmm.
that taste in my mouth or whatever, if I'm dizzy and I know my blood pressure is crazy, I'm not getting on the bike. It's simple. You know, it's
Okay.
simple. But there was a time where I would get up, ride in to dialysis. Steve would be my nurse. I would treat, leave, and go ride out, and I would be out until 2 o'clock in the morning
Okay, so
because
you
my
guys
Wow.
go back a
body
little
knew.
bit. You and Steve
Wow.
know each other for you've known each other for a while then.
Yeah, he was my nurse, and when I was in Catonsville, Maryland, in Baltimore, he was
Okay.
my nurse. That's how we originally met.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool. That's awesome.
That's great.
That's right.
yeah. So I know Steve pretty good.
That's awesome.
But the project that I was going to mention to you is that I would love my husband and I. He's not a rider yet. I'm in the process of teaching him how to ride, but we
Mm-hmm.
want to ride across country from Atlanta to California, spreading kidney disease awareness,
That's
stopping
so cool.
every other state to go ahead and get our dialysis treatments in, and actually be able to show other patients,
Mm-hmm.
you can do this. You
Now
can
you
Right.
do this.
you know
So,
you mentioned this to me, before previously, and I thought, wow, this is such an amazing concept, and and I got the feeling that this isn't just some flying notion for you. It sounds like it's really something that you've really thought out. It's well thought out, and you've put a lot of time thinking about it. So help me understand as a layman, since I don't necessarily understand the motorcycle world. How would you be able to still, go to dialysis and be able to do this, from Atlanta, all the way to California? How would you be able to fit these two lives?
well, it would be similar as to traveling
Okay.
with DaVita, uh, um, and going from one clinic to the next clinic to the next clinic. Of course, it takes a
Okay.
lot of logistics and
Uh-huh.
planning and getting everything together. As I
So
said to
you
you,
would have
I'm
to
a part of a
contact
national.
them,
Oh,
contact the
of course,
clinic.
definitely.
Does
Okay.
the social worker do that or you do it?
What I do is I call and I let them know when I'm going to be in what state and where it is I plan on being. So that's where my motorcycle club comes in, and my road
Mm-hmm.
captains and whoever is going to be traveling with us. Um, I have two nurses that are also riders that are interested in riding
Really?
with us, so
Wow.
that
Wow.
we have on call medical staff to help us out with that. And with the motorcycle community, you would
Uh-huh.
be amazed the different walks of lives and careers and things people have going on in their life that will
Mm-hmm.
be able to assist you. It's a huge networking service. And I have met some of the absolute best people on the motorcycle set that were strangers, and
Mm-hmm.
now 15 years later their family, where it was like, okay, I had this idea, okay, when we going, what's up? You know what I mean? I'll take the time off of work, even if I can't do the whole ride with you. I'll go from here to Texas, and then in Texas we have a national chapter.
Okay.
So in different states, there are different members that are my brothers and sisters that will ride with me through that state and pick up more riders in the next state. So if you can't do the whole ride, that's fine. You'll do a leg of the ride with me.
Gotcha.
So it would just be a situation of the coordination of
Mm-hmm.
when we're leaving here, the time, and your road captains are the heart of your ride because they're the ones that are going to give you the map,
Mm-hmm.
where we're going, where we're stopping. Okay, we know after 105 miles, we're going to need to gas up. Now, we ain't got to worry about Will or I having to use the bathroom because we don't do that. It'll be for everyone else. But it's a lot of planning and organizing and getting things together. But as I said, there are nurses that are willing to ride with us. I have clergy
That's
that's willing to
incredible.
ride with us.
Wow.
Other people that just want to support, and there are
Uh-huh.
people that just want to honor their uncle or their auntie or their grandmother that's suffering and
Uh-huh.
or passed, and that's their way of honoring their loved one. And
Okay.
I appreciate that because I think it needs to be on the forefront. I
Mm-hmm.
know there's a lot of people that know their grandmother is on dialysis but have no idea. They just go drop her off and pick her up and have no idea what's going on, because I have people look at me like, that's impossible, you gotta pee. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of those patients where in a 5-month period I may do 2 drops, and it's like, how can you do that? If you drink, it's got to come out. That's why I sit on the machine.
Right.
Oh, so why do you sit on the machine? Like, and then you explain, like, your grandmother been going through
They
all this time, and you didn't
they
have
don't understand.
an
Yeah.
inkling to find out what she's doing.
Uh-huh.
But it's kind of like a double-edged sword, because here I am riding my motorcycle, I'm participating in my kids' lives, I have my grandkids. Looking at me, if I didn't tell you, you would not know. But
Yep.
then that's when, oh, you ain't that sick. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, ain't nothing wrong with you. you you know that type of thing. So it kind of, it's like, okay, either it's not that I'm looking for sympathy from anyone. I just want understanding that, you know what, some days I ain't got it.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't have it. Give me a minute. Let me pick my face up, screw it back on, and then we're gonna keep it moving. But give me that little bit of space. And I have to tell you, I gotta shout my husband out, because for years, I was single. I would meet someone and they did not understand what I was going through. They
Mm-hmm.
did not want to understand or take the time to be compassionate about what was going on with me. So when I moved to Georgia, and the reason I moved to Georgia was because speaking to doctors and reading studies and looking at the numbers, you had more of a chance of transplant in the southern states
Mm-hmm.
than you did in the northern states.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And I'm going to tell you, I came down here. I
Mm-hmm.
got here in August. I was on a transplant. I was on the transplant list in January.
Wow.
Wow, that's really quick.
Yeah.
But see, that has a lot to do with my ducks being in a row and not
Uh-huh.
accepting, no, you can't do this. One thing I have learned from my dad was there's always another way to skin a cat.
That is true.
And if you want it,
Yeah.
don't accept no. And that's what it was. Unfortunately, I ended up having a heart attack in March. So that got me suspended off the list. So
Okay.
now I'm getting
Wow.
back on the list because it's been a year. My heart is
Mm-hmm.
strong. My labs are awesome. I'm not missing anything. I switched from clinic dialysis to home
Great.
dialysis, which
Uh-huh.
my life is so different now. And I can be honest with you about this. I used to go in that clinic and walk in with 3 and 4 kilos on. I
Mm-hmm.
barely put a half a kilo to a kilo on now. And
Wow.
for me, that look what? What?
Yeah, that's a big
My
difference there.
phosphorus, my phosphorus used to be in the 6 and 7s
Oh,
all the time.
wow.
Mm-hmm.
My phosphorus 3.4 now.
That's great.
Really? That's great.
So I mean, in clinic life, sometimes you feel like it's impossible. I don't know how people can't do this and can't do that and won't do this and won't do that. Um, it's possible.
So, can I
It
ask you a question?
sure.
What made you switch from incident to home hemo?
Honestly speaking to you, I suffer from a severe case of gastroparesis. So, and that came from the diabetes. If it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't coming out one end, it was coming out the other. And there were times that I would get on the machine. I would only be on the machine 40 minutes. I got to go. Unhook me. Let's go. You know, it's not gonna be a good situation if you don't get me off this machine. And I felt really bad because you start to develop a relationship with your techs and your nurses, and I didn't want to put them through additional work,
Mm-hmm.
and then I didn't want them to start to resent me, like, oh Lord, I got Miss Carter. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I know how
I
that
don't.
goes.
Yeah, like they having an issue with the fact that they're gonna have to put me on, take me off, put me on, take me off. You know what I mean? Oh well, she gonna be in the bathroom for a half an hour, so you know what I mean. We got to break the machine down, start it back up again. I didn't want
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
that, so I'm like, let me do it myself. If it is a situation
Okay.
where I can be trained and I can do it
I
myself,
feel you.
but then as I started to talk to other patients, they were like, "Oh, honey, you gonna cut down on your time. Watch, your numbers are gonna be different. You gonna be off that blood pressure medication." And everything they said is true. I
Mm.
went
So
from being on 2 blood pressure medications to being on the absolute smallest dose of the weakest one now.
mm-hmm.
Right.
So now I understand that it is with my work, me changing my eating habits, me eating the
Okay.
way that I ate. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
A lot of
Sure.
times the education isn't there.
Right.
Not only
Okay.
that, there is no support there. You got a
Mm-hmm.
dietitian sitting there screaming on you about this, that, and the third. Okay, you're telling me everything that I can't eat, but you're not giving me options of what I can eat. You know what I mean? There's no support at home. If you rocking it out by yourself, and the easiest thing that you can do is go stop by KFC and get a double order of macaroni and cheese. You know what I mean? That's what you're gonna do. So that's where,
Now you're
again,
making me hungry.
that having that support system that's just as educated, if not more educated than you, because sometimes we
Okay.
can make that bad decision. Like, you know what, forget it.
Sure.
I ain't starting them. I'm
And
gonna go
we're
ahead and do
weak.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. So when I met my husband at the clinic, I had moved down here. He was checking me out and whatever, but wasn't saying too much of anything.
I was
He
hoping
had
you'd get to this part of the story. This is what I like this part of the story because the way you met your husband is so cool. Go ahead. I want to hear it.
he um he had been checking me out because I had been visiting before I had moved. And he asked one of our nurses, he was like, find out what's up with her. Like, is she single? And she did. And that next treatment day, I was on second shift. He was on third shift, but my shift
Mhm.
would kind of, you know, drift over into his. He
Okay.
asked
All
if
right.
his chair could be moved next to mine so that he
Ooh,
can talk to me.
Wow. All
excuse me.
right.
And she moved his chair. He introduced himself. We talked like the whole rest of the treatment time, and it was one of those things like I didn't even want to leave. You know what I mean? It's like it's time to, usually it's over. You grabbing your bag and running up out of there. You know,
Yes.
screaming your weight down and hey, you know,
I'm out
and
of
you
here.
rolling out. But I didn't want to leave. But that evening, I went home and my nurse called, and I thought she was going to call and tell me, hey, you know, I got a chair early Friday if you want it. And she was like, girl, somebody is interested in you. He wants your number. I was like, who? You know, I had no idea. It was him. I called him that night. He was still working. He was still working 12 hours a day and doing 5 hours of dialysis. So
Wow.
that's how that
Wow.
man was working. He said, I'm going to change my schedule so that I can allow me some time to spend time with you. He said, give me a week. That's what he did. He picked me up on a Saturday at 10 o'clock in the morning, didn't bring me home until 11 o'clock that night, and we've been together every day since.
Oh,
Every day
wow.
since. He proposed to me in December. We got
Mm-hmm.
married in May, and we're getting
Mm-hmm.
ready to celebrate a year anniversary next month.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
That
That's
is so
Thank you.
beautiful.
awesome.
Thank you.
That
And
is
right
such a
now,
great story.
we're doing home hemo together.
Uh-huh.
We are each other's caregiver. You know,
Sweet.
get him, he's on the machine right now before
Uh-huh.
everything happened. Made sure he was straight. I'm like, look, you gotta be on that machine because I got something to do at 8 o'clock.
And you have someone who understands you. Like you have someone who's going through the same thing that you're going through. So I'm sure that makes it much easier, makes your relationship much stronger and
He
everything.
understands.
Great
He
point.
understands
That's
because
a
you know some
great
days
point.
he doesn't have it, and I'm
Uh-huh.
there, Jane on the spot. Like, all right, we look. I have to suck it up to make sure that he's all right, and he does
Mm-hmm.
the same for me. And my husband is that alpha male. I'm going to provide for you no matter what. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not going to put gas in your car. You're not going to take trash out. You know what I mean? I'm going to
Sounds
take
like a
care of
true
that.
gentleman.
Yes,
Yes.
that's how he's always been. And he do laundry. And
And
he
he does
washed dishes.
laundry?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow, you didn't hit
wow.
the jackpot.
That's a find.
Yeah, he's amazing. He really is. But he was honest about it. He was like, I am like this with you because you make me want to be that man
Mm-hmm.
because of the way you are to me. And I lucked out. This is where I needed to be, who I needed to be with. And like my labs are better. He was that one that would come in the clinic with 10 kilos on. Oh, honey. Mm,
Wow, 10?
10.
10.
And they were pushing him. They were like, look, you need to go to home dialysis. A, because you're
Mm-hmm.
working 12 hours a day. You know what I mean? And then
Okay.
you're coming in here for
Mm-hmm.
5 hours, 3 days a week. He was mentally and physically exhausted. And
So it's taking a
dialysis
toll
will,
on him, right?
it will
Mm-hmm.
break you down. And then he
I
felt
can
the same way
imagine.
that I did about relationships and romance and please, I ain't got time for that because don't nobody understand. But he
Right.
was the right one to understand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
And
took
you know,
you.
one of the amazing things he said to me, he was like, I have so much love to give, but don't nobody want it. I was like, pick me. Wait. I'm right here. What's going on? But I got you, boo. You know. So
That's
it
great.
worked. It worked for us, and the fact that he's interested, he's always wanted to ride motorcycles, but he just never had the time to go ahead and explore those things. Um, Friday, I'm coming up to Baltimore tomorrow, and then Friday I have an appointment with John Hopkins for my
Mm-hmm.
transplant to
Great
follow up with
hospital.
them because I'm on both lists for Emory here in Atlanta and
Okay.
Baltimore John Hopkins. So I have
Mm-hmm.
two chances right there. Um, but we come back. we're going to Miami to take a cruise. So we're taking all of our equipment and
No,
we're
Wow.
cruising. Now that
no,
will
you're
be
going on a.
yeah.
Is that the
What kind of
dialysis
cruise are you
cruise?
going on, Bridget?
We're going to Key West, Florida, and Cozumel, Mexico.
No,
Is the
Yep.
wow.
Florida
And then
cruise?
in September, we're taking another cruise, which has 4 ports. So, Will has never been out of the country before we got married. We got married in the Bahamas. That was his first time going out of the country.
Uh huh.
So he was like, I didn't think I could do this stuff. You know,
Uh huh.
he just had a mindset of like, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead, keep working till I die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
So what I'm hearing, and this is what I really dig, is that you've got a great support system because he's your base. He keeps you grounded, and vice versa.
yeah.
You keep each other, strong.
Oh yeah,
I
definitely.
think that's awesome.
I look at us like as a couple. I'm that hot air balloon that has all these ideas and these wonderful things. I want to do this. I want to do that. Here, let's go here. Let's go to that. And he's just got that little itty bitty pin to let some of the air out. Like, come on, look, calm down a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have to do everything in one day. And he'll get me to look like, you know what, you're right. Let me slow down. You know what I mean? Let me slow down and let's
Okay.
take a bit out of this apple at once. And I'm
Uh-huh.
glad that he's at a point that he even wants to take a bite out of the apple because at one time he just didn't. And I felt that way when I first started dialysis. Like, I'm not even going to tackle this. I'm just going to let it be. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. That's it. And then I looked like, wait a minute. The only way I'm going to get a kidney is if somebody die, and then I gotta wait in line for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, and wait for it to be my turn, and then hurry up and wait for somebody to die again. No,
Not gonna happen.
we're going to look for living donors. You know what I mean? And nothing beats a failure but a try. The worst thing
Yeah.
you can tell me is no. That's the
Or
That's
you
worst you
right.
can
can't
tell me.
do it.
Yeah, okay, you said no. Next. There's somebody out there. There is somebody. I don't know who they are. I don't know where they're at.
Hmm.
But I'm gonna find you.
Yeah.
And I'm not
That's a,
giving up. I'm
that's
not
a great
letting him
outlook.
give up.
It's a great
I'm not gonna happen.
outlook.
Not gonna
Yeah.
happen. And I have two of the most amazing, adorable, smart grandchildren this side of the Mississippi. I have to. I have to see them grow. And to hear them call my name or how excited they get just to know that Mima's gonna make some cookies for them. Mima's gonna do
Hmm.
cupcakes. You know what I mean? Mima's
Uh-huh.
painting my nails, or we're
Yeah.
gonna go outside and ride the bikes and whatever. They were so astonished that when we went to the park, I showed them that I knew how to swing and that I could swing high. They were like, wow, like I'm not 75 years old. Mima likes to
Sweet.
do stuff like that too. But those are the memories
Right.
that I want to continue to make with them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So,
Right. I do. Courtney and I were talking about that. It's the loved ones, that keep us grounded and make us want to be more than what we are, and want us. They're the ones that keep us looking at the light at the end of the tunnel, and things of that nature. And
you got to have
you know,
something to look forward to because
for
when
sure.
Yeah.
all you're thinking about, and we're all guilty of this, of thinking about death, when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen. Oh, is this going to be the thing to take me out? You want to refrain from thinking of those negative things and
Hmm.
concentrate on the positive things. And not only
Gotcha.
receiving positive vibes from other people, you
Right.
got to give them. You have to
Yes.
give them. And you never know. that smile, or that how you doing, or how's your day, or let me share this with you, will change someone's mindset and how they're thinking. There was a gentleman that used to sit to the left of me in Baltimore. He was, for lack of a better term, he was a mean cuss. He
Okay.
really was. He didn't like anybody. He didn't want to deal with dialysis. He didn't want to come. Don't talk to him. Don't look at him. Don't do nothing. I would speak to this man every day, and I didn't care whether he talked back to me or not. One day, I had a meltdown with a tech, and this man, out of the blue, just started talking to me. He was like, "You know what, Carter, you all right." And I'm like, "Uh-oh, what I do?" You know what I mean? But me being consistent and speaking to him and letting him know that I cared enough to say hello. How you doing? And
Mm-hmm.
then I used to make candy apples and cupcakes and cookies, and I know it was the wrong thing to do because half the people in there was diabetic. But it changed their day that somebody cared enough to bring them that candy apple. I used to do
Okay.
when the holidays would come around, I would do bunny cupcakes for Easter. Um,
Uh-huh.
for Halloween, I would do the little Halloween gift bags and Christmas. One year, I came in, did Christmas cookies. My niece, my sister, and my nephew. We sang Christmas carols for 2 hours, and everybody in the clinic sang the carols with us. You know that
Wow. That
changed.
sounds very uplifting.
Yeah.
Well, how do you
So
think that made everybody feel?
well, yeah, sometimes you walk into a clinic, it is so morbid and like a dungeon. People
Just
are
kind
not
of a
speaking. They're grunting at each other. And then
gotcha.
don't let the techs and the nurses be fighting with each other, or there's beef and there's a
Mm-hmm.
click with this one and that one, and then it's just work. Look, I ain't got time for all that. Get me on this machine. Do your job, do it right, and let me roll out. you know.
So, so you're trying to build positive vibes in that environment that you're talking about.
Of course, I don't.
Yeah.
I am a humorous person. I like to laugh. I crack jokes. I want to have a good time. I want you to share your experiences with me,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to share mine with you so that your knowledge base is that much bigger. You know what I mean? There's something that I can walk away from you and be able to talk to someone similar to you about. You know what I mean? If I
Okay.
had not had that conversation with you, how would I be able to have a dialogue? You know what I mean? There has to
Mm-hmm.
be a common ground. You teach me something, I teach you. So each one teach one.
We all do that as brothers and sisters, and we're all connected, whether we really know it or not. We are. And you're right. I mean, the wonderful thing about what you're saying is I absolutely buy in. I do. When we don't know exactly when or where, but the people that we are in contact with, if we don't contact them or if we don't see them, we never know if we don't uplift them what their day is going to be like. Is that
Absolutely.
kind of what you mean?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. And
Mm-hmm.
with that being said, you got to be careful who's in your circle, because you don't need those toxic people in your circle. You know what I mean? Like,
Negative Nellies, negative Neds, or people that bring you down.
yeah, you don't. You have enough going on. You don't need
Yeah,
to add that pot and somebody stirring that pot. You know what I mean? So
sure.
you you
Well said.
you got to
Well said.
protect yourself at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah,
Well, you've
that's
meant,
me in a nutshell.
it's a great nutshell. Again, I love your story. It's an amazing story with, your motorcycle community. The way you met your husband is unique, and the way you feed off each other, build each other up. It's such a great story, Bridget, and I am very,
Thank you.
very happy that you've been on the show tonight to tell it. Because again, there are other warriors out there that can hear this, get uplifted by what you're saying and hear and get motivated by it, because there's nothing more than I want than to give hope. The one thing that I want from the Warriors Quest show is to give hope.
Oh yeah.
And that's
Oh
what
yeah.
we're doing tonight with you and Courtney, is giving hope. And that's powerful. It is.
If it could happen for Courtney, it can happen for me. You know what I mean? And anything that I am doing, and not that I'm, stellar with everything that I'm doing, but I do understand that my life has a little more to it than other patients. I have
Mhm.
a little more energy, or my health may be a little better than some other patients, and that I'm able to do these things. But I just feel like it's something to strive for. If you see
Amen.
someone else doing it, okay, if
Mhm.
she's doing it, if he's doing it, why can't I? One of the things I see, Steve has went to this whole vegan plant-based lifestyle.
Uh-huh.
I'm inching there. I'm not quite there, but
Uh-huh.
I look at him. I'm like, okay. I remember when Steve was a thickum. He wasn't a big dude, but he was bigger than what he is now. But I
Uh-huh.
understand now he's healthier. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
I got a lot of pushback from my husband because he's meat, potatoes, meat, potatoes,
Meat
meat,
potatoes,
more
meat
potatoes.
potatoes.
Throw some rice on there, and don't forget the gravy. You know what I mean? That's him
Yeah.
all day, all night, and I love to cook. And
It's
nothing makes me happier than to see him enjoying a meal. You know what I
a
mean?
good.
After a hard
Mhm.
day, and being able to serve him his meal. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It
Right. I
brings
get
me
that. And then
pleasure.
there's a good thing about having a meal that's prepared, though, is that you've got interaction with your family, you're talking, you're bonding, you talk about your day,
Yep.
you can vent, let your frustrations out. There's a
That's the
lot to,
quality
you
time.
know,
That's the
yeah,
quality
there's
time that
it's
no one can
quality
take from
time,
you. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. So with that, I've been introducing more fresh fruits and vegetables, more vegan meals. Like I said, I
Hmm.
get pushback, but
Okay.
because
But you
we've just changed the way that we eat, he's lost 17 pounds. So
yeah.
Wow.
I'm mad I only lost 4, but he's lost 17. But he has to lose the weight in order to get on a transplant list. So
Yeah.
I'm
He
Yeah.
says
very
he feels
serious
better
about
too.
it.
He
I'm
has
serious
been.
about getting him where he needs to be. Because if I'm on the list, look, hey, you need to be on the list too. If I'm doing
Uh-huh.
home dialysis, hey, you need to be doing home dialysis too. You know, like
Nice.
I said, he's up on the machine now. We'll break
Uh-huh.
everything when he gets off. He gets himself off and everything, but what I do is I do the cleanup, and then I set up for the next day. So all he got to
Okay.
do is pop up there. We kind of do it like they do in the clinics. You know what I
Nice.
mean? To offer that
Okay.
structure.
So
You know what
so
I
you've
mean?
got a structure where you know exactly what needs to be done, and it's all prepared for the next time you dialyze and everything,
Yep.
right?
Run the
Okay.
water, lay out his supplies. I usually have everything in baggies already, so all you gotta do is pick the baggie up. And that's, I'm sitting here watching TV. That's what I do. And you know what I mean? If I'm not cooking,
Okay.
baking, or crafting, I make sure
Uh-huh.
that stuff is done so that he doesn't have to worry about it and I don't have to worry about it. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's more of um, what's the word of I'm looking for? Not organization, but time management. There it is. That's what I'm looking for.
Time
You know,
management. Okay.
yeah,
You know, organization's a really good thing, and not everybody has it. Not everybody has that sort of personality, and not everybody can, put their schedule in together the same, but there's a lot of benefit to having something that's structured,
yeah.
you know exactly what's going to be done and when it's going to be done. And, and you can kind of get a feel for what works or what doesn't work.
And but then you can also take a look at everything, and if something goes wrong, you know where to fix it at. You know what I mean? Because if
Self-management.
you're just random with it, you're not gonna know
Hmm.
where to start. You're not gonna know where to go. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So having that structure,
Uh-huh.
okay, I know where it went left.
Okay, I feel you. So you're being really, you're not only structured, but you're making sure you know what your numbers are and you know what the levels are and stuff like that.
Well, I'm going to tell you, our nurse and our techs at our clinic,
Uh-huh.
absolutely stellar. And they will not accept you failing, because if you fail, they failed. And it's not
Okay.
going to happen. And
Uh-huh.
it's something about, like, today when we went in for our monthly checkup, met with the doctor, and we got our report card. And
Okay.
when I got that report card and it had all smiley faces for everything, my A1C dropped. My A1C, I was hanging out in 8.9 and stuff like that. I got it down to 7.1. I haven't been to 7.1 in
Uh-huh.
years. When I say
Wow.
years, I
It'd
mean
been,
years.
so
So
it's been
it,
years. Okay.
it's working. I mean,
It's,
the support that they give us at the clinic,
uh-huh.
him, my husband being there for me being there for him,
Mm-hmm.
studying, getting the education, learning, and the desire to want to do
Yes.
better. It's working, and I mean, I
Great.
can't be mad. I cannot be
That's
mad.
good to hear. It's not always the case for everybody. And it's good
Right?
to hear that it's working for you and that things are going better. You
Yeah.
know what? One of the things I'd like to do is, again, I'm happy that you've been on the show because it is a unique story. It's not, you've got a lot that you do for your husband, a lot that he does for you. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to one more time make sure that people understand how they can get connected with you. Those that want to donate, because it's a warrior's call. Okay, I want
Yeah.
all the warriors to come together, and that's what a community does. So everybody needs to come together. Please share this video, this live broadcast. Share her message. We've been able to put your information out there on the Warriors Quest page. Uh,
Thank
and
you.
I'd
Thank
like to
you.
have you tell everybody, verbally tonight too, how they can get a hold of the transplant hospital.
Okay.
Give us a little information. I believe the donor blood type is O, right?
O positive, correct.
O
Yes, I
positive.
am O
Okay.
positive. I am registered at John Hopkins University Hospital in Baltimore, Maryland, and I'm also registered at Emory Hospital in Atlanta, Georgia. O positive. My date of birth is January 17th, 1972. Very key information when you're calling in and you say, look, I'm interested in donating to Bridget. And here's the thing, and my husband is listening. We got
Mm-hmm.
married almost a year ago. I
Okay.
have not legally changed my name.
All right.
Uh-oh. Can you guys hear
So
me?
it's still under Carter then.
I'm still Bridget Carter.
Okay. All right.
Although I'm identified as Bridget Thomas. But
Uh-huh.
that was more so to be easier with a lot of my transplant stuff, my insurance stuff. I just got my passport. I was not paying for another passport.
I gotcha.
um, but yeah, I am Bridget Carter. But you can, John Hopkins Hospital, you can reach them at 410-464-6713. And the
Mm-hmm.
young lady that you need to speak to would be Tammy. And then
Tammy.
At Emory, it is 855-366-7989. And you would need to speak to Hermanda. And they will
Okay.
direct you to who it is that you need to speak to. But Bridget Carter, O positive, January 17th, 1972. That's the key information that you need to give them, and they will give you all the information how to get you worked up. You don't have to live in Baltimore, you don't have to live in Atlanta. What you need to do is give them the information. They'll send you a packet out. You take that packet to your doctor. Your doctor will
Mm-hmm.
do the workup and send all the information to where it needs to go. A key thing that people need to know is that you do not pay for this operation, this transplant. It is taken care of with my insurance. You may have the expenses of traveling if you choose to do so. You do not have to come to Atlanta. They can take that kidney out of you and mail it to me.
Wow.
And the
Okay.
surgery can, so there are possibilities. It's no different than if they got a kidney from someone in Hawaii that passed
Mhm.
in an accident and they had to airlift it to where I'm at to put it in me. They have that window. They put it on
That's
ice.
interesting viewpoint. That's a very interesting viewpoint. I don't know that we've, that I've gone into detail about that perspective. I like that.
Oh yeah. So I mean, there are a lot of different ways to go about this. A lot of people they live with one kidney, and they're
Uh-huh.
they're fine. So um all things are possible, and I believe in God. I believe the fact
Amen.
that he did not in March. I had mentioned that I had the heart attacks. I did not have one heart attack. I had four
You've
in an
had
hour and
four
a
Wow.
heart
half.
attacks?
I have four heart attacks in an hour and a half.
Wow. God loves you. God loves you. Amen. Wow.
My purpose has not been met yet. And not
Yes.
only that, back in 2010, and this is
Uh-huh.
when my kidney failure really progressed. Like
Okay.
you, I had I had swine flu, and when I got swine flu, I ended up on a ventilator for 15 days. Everything started to shut down.
Wow.
I remember hearing the doctor
Mm-hmm.
and the nurse talking, and they were like, there was something wrong with my numbers, and he was like, call the family now.
Mm.
And I'm like,
Wow.
what? Why they calling my family? What you talking about? I'm getting up out of here. You know what I mean? That was the
Wow.
roughest 6 weeks of my life because I did
Mm-hmm.
not see my kids. I could not see my kids. After everything was said and done, I had to learn how to comb my hair. I had to
Uh-huh.
learn how to walk again. And then, okay,
Wow.
even going through that, I'm like, okay, God's not done with me yet. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what
Absolutely.
it is you
Wow.
want me to do or how it is you want me to do it, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to figure it out.
Well,
And
you're a
then for
true
me
warrior. Wow.
to have that experience with the with
Mm-hmm.
the with the heart attacks, and I don't know if you felt any of the chest compressions, if they had to do chest compressions on you or not, but that
Courtney?
stuff
Yeah, they did.
hurt.
I was out of it.
Mm-hmm.
It hurt.
Wow.
And I mean, they were still doing the chest compressions. And okay, I came back, but oh boy, still going. And I'm like, ow, stop. I was
Wow.
like, okay, she's back.
Wow.
The couple of cracked ribs. I don't think they were cracked; they were bruised.
Mhm.
But to go through that
Mm-hmm.
experience and to still be here, that's telling me I still need to
There's
fight.
there's a reason.
Yes.
How could you not? If you were given a
A second
second chance,
chance.
how
That's
could
Mm-hmm.
right.
you? No, not gonna do it.
You owe
not
that to
not gonna do
God
it.
and to yourself to
Oh,
keep fighting.
definitely.
And
Yeah,
that's how I feel about that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I'm so happy for you that you got transplanted. I'm ready for that unknown. You know what I mean? The unknown of getting that call and it's for real because I've had calls. And the
Yeah.
crazy thing is when I had the heart attacks on a Thursday night. Friday morning, they called me from John Hopkins and told me they had a kidney for me. And
Wow.
I'm like, what? I'm like, you're
What?
kidding me. And she was like, what's wrong? I said, I'm in the hospital. I had heart attacks last night.
Oh,
And
Oh, you
she's
gotta
like,
be kidding
unfortunately,
me.
it wasn't
we
right.
can't, but I'm
Just
like,
let
it just wasn't my time.
Yeah, it
That's
wasn't
what
your
my
just,
time.
pastor,
yeah.
he really explained to me. He was like, it that kidney wasn't for you.
Right.
Although you
Yeah.
thought it
Mm-hmm.
was not for you. And I guess that was divine intervention, because I've
Sure.
learned so much in the last year about myself, my
Uh-huh.
strength, my desire. Like, do I really want this kidney?
Right.
Yes. Do I
Sure
really want
you
to live?
do. Right.
Really putting it in perspective, it's like, Bridget, if you really want this, you're going to do what you need to do.
Mhm.
You're going to make your labs better. You're going to take all your medicines.
Yeah.
You're going to eat right. You're going to see all the doctors and not blow some of the doctors off, because we have a habit of doing. I don't feel like going. I ain't going. You know what I mean? But making those appointments, doing what it was that I had to do, and that makes me. You know what I mean? That desire is just lit. It's like a roaring fire. But in between all of that, and in between the dialysis and everything else, not forgetting to live, not forgetting that
It's a blessing.
I
Yes.
have children, that I have
Mm-hmm.
grandchildren, that I have a life to live. I've taken on this role as wife now. I got to be a wife too. So not only am I'm mommy, I'm a sibling to my sisters and brothers. I have godchildren. I have grandchildren. I run a business. You know what I mean? I'm a wife. I'm just not
Sure.
dialysis patient 24 hours a day. It's a part of my life. It's not my
It's
life.
not
I
who you
refuse
are.
for it
Mm-hmm.
to be or
Right.
consume me. I deal
Mm-hmm.
with the challenges and some of the I don't want to say circumstances, but just some of the downfalls, you know what I mean, that kind of come with the
Yes.
territory, and I'm just not going to let it take over.
No,
I'm not giving it
Yeah.
that power.
I
I'm
think I know
not
what you
giving
mean.
it
You're
that
not
power.
letting it define you, is
No,
what you're saying.
not at all. Right.
Yeah, this disease can eat you up if you allow it to,
Yeah.
and you can
I
lose
don't want
yourself
to
very
be,
quickly.
yeah, I don't want to be Bridget, that girl that's on dialysis. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'm Bridget. That's who I am. You know what I
Right.
mean? I'm a superhero in my head. You know what I mean? And now
You're
I
what?
need you to see that I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
that type
Yes.
of thing. Yeah.
Well, you are
Well,
strong,
it's a
and I
wonderful
love your
outlook.
story, and you inspire me.
Aw. I was listening to you about your 3-year-old and how you endured 6 days a week,
Yes.
girl. And I'm upset about 3-4 days. You know what I mean? You rocking out 6.
I
Oh,
didn't have a choice.
but you know what? A mother's love will.
Mother's love.
Whew,
Well,
you
I
do what you got to do.
Yes.
And that's just it. No baby wants to hear I'm sick or I'm tired or I don't feel like being bothered. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
There's no room for that.
No.
yeah.
Suck it up, Buttercup. Let's get this.
Yes.
You said before we're gonna rock this thing till the wheels fall off.
That's right.
But that
Well,
is
ladies,
amazing.
it is
That's
amazing. You
yes.
both are amazing, and each of your stories has inspired me tonight. I'm hoping everybody hears each of your stories because it's very inspiring. And I'm excited to give hope to others. I'm very thankful that each of you has been on the show tonight so that we can give that hope. Thank you very much
Oh,
for
thank
being
you
part of the
so
Warriors.
much for having me. I
Thank you.
really
Yeah.
appreciate the opportunity to be able to talk to, you know, people outside of my circle. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? To actually get a taste of, like, okay, well, you know what? I'm not the only one going through this. I'm not the
Yeah.
only one having these thoughts. You know what I mean? And again, like we mentioned before, if you can do it, why can't I? Who said I can't? You know what I mean? So
And
I truly appreciate that.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Jared. We love what you're doing with the show. It's great.
And
oh, you're
Jared,
welcome. My pleasure.
And is that your brother?
Yeah, my
That's your
twin
brother.
brother and I. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, you guys rock it out. You know what I mean? And I
The
love the fact
advertisements are
you guys
fabulous.
are on it. I mean,
I don't
on
know how you
it.
do it.
And
Thanks.
sometimes people get into a situation where, okay, my friend needs a kidney, so I'm gonna rock and roll for my friend. You guys
Mm-hmm.
are like, I'm rocking and rolling for everybody. I
Everybody.
don't care
Yes.
who you are, where you're from, what you got going
Yeah.
on. If you're 7 or you're 77, if you want a kidney, I will help you. If you want help, I will help you. Just have the desire. And I love that, because like, again, sometimes people get caught up, oh, I'm not helping, you know what I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
don't want to be bothered with that. There's no discrimination with the love and the hope that you're giving, and I applaud that. We need
Thanks,
so
Bridget.
many more people like that,
You.
just
Yes.
willing to give a little help. You guys give
Yeah.
hours and hours and hours.
Go
Just
above and
imagine
beyond.
if people would just give a minute or two. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Each week. Just a
Sure.
minute or two each week.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, do it all day,
It
every
counts.
day, but just
Yeah.
a few minutes a week, we can get the attention that we need. And one of the things that's
Deserve. Yeah.
really bothered me, and it's not to say that other diseases don't deserve notoriety or awareness. I just think we get a short end of the stick of like, oh, well, you guys should
Mm-hmm.
just get another kidney. Where? Am I supposed to just go downtown to the meat
Right.
market and get one?
Uh-huh.
Like, you, there are still things. It's dealing with dialysis. It's post transplant, getting back into the workforce, dealing with
Mm-hmm.
relationship stuff, raising your kids. God forbid you got a teenager and on dialysis. Oh my gosh. You catch a case with that
Don't
just
scare me.
alone.
Don't scare me.
But it's a lot, and I just feel like we're the forgotten disease. Like,
Yes.
it
The
exists.
under
Oh
the
yeah,
holes.
my auntie had that. But anyway, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It's
No,
brushed
yeah.
under the rug, pretty much. It's brushed under the rug.
Well, yeah,
It
like,
is. It is.
it's there, but we're not going to talk about it. You know what
Right.
I mean? We're not going to do anything about it. Like, it's not like they have cancer, and it's like, cancer is
Mm-hmm.
bad enough in itself. Don't get me wrong.
No, no,
But you
you're
know what?
totally right. Because they
Think
think,
about it.
okay, well, they're going to dialysis, so
Yeah,
it's not like
they're
they're going
good.
to die
Yeah,
tomorrow.
they can
Right.
live on dialysis. You got cancer, you're gonna die. No, cancer goes
Yeah.
into remission, and you can, live life for 10, 15 years. How
Mm-hmm.
And we may
often do
not.
you hear somebody kidney popping back? I mean, it happens, don't get me wrong, but I don't know very many people that have been on dialysis and taken off and been fine. I know it does happen. But look at the
Sure.
amount of clinics that are out there, the
Right.
amount of people. You got a
It's an
24
epidemic.
seat clinic
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
that has 3 shifts. You do the math for me. And it's rocking and rolling 6 days a week.
Yeah,
Now,
they're popping up more than
5, they got the
Walgreens on
weekend
the corner.
off.
Mm-hmm.
So you do the math. No, it's
Yeah.
not something that you can kind of just like turn. It's like we the ugly stepchildren. Like, yeah, you
Yeah.
there and you need to eat, and we need to give you something, but we ain't gonna give you what you really need. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's unfair. That's
It needs more attention than just the month of March or April. And I totally agree with you. And I there are, and I get really passionate. It is a passion of mine. It's a passion of mine as well as my twin brother, for him, because of what my sister-in-law, his wife, what she went through. And be, I just I can't stand idly by, or I can't just, I can't see people on Facebook that are struggling and just let them struggle. I can't do that. It's
I agree.
just not right. There are too many people that are struggling, too many people that need some help. There are too many people that need to get their word out, that need their voice heard, that need to have someone hear their message. And I need to get that out there. And
Right. Right. The awareness. We,
We
we
need
all
more.
need to take we need to take an more active role in getting the awareness out there.
absolutely.
And then, often I mentioned it before, there were riders out there that were on dialysis, but would never say a word because they didn't want
Oh,
that pity
so,
party, or the shaming. Like, well, you sick, you don't need to be doing that.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, I no, I
right.
don't need to hear that from you. What I need to hear from you is like, okay,
Mhm.
my brother, my sister, I'll ride with you. So if something happens, you got somebody there with you. Encourage
Exactly.
me. Okay, if you're gonna ride, I don't like it, but if
Yeah,
you're gonna ride, don't ride alone. Here, I'm coming with you. You know what I mean? That type of thing.
I
Encourage
do.
me to
Right.
have something that I enjoy, that
Uh-huh.
brings me pleasure, so that I'm not thinking about, okay, I don't want to go to dialysis, but I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna sit here for 4 hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
5 hours, or whatever
Uh-huh.
the case may be.
Yes.
And then you
It's
think
it.
about it too. I had to go to an oncology department because I had to get iron infusions. So they do it there. And I
Mm-hmm.
would go in, and there were other patients there getting chemo. And every person in that clinic had someone sitting there with them, their support system. How
Okay.
often do you see that at
You
dialysis?
don't.
Now, I do
Yeah.
know some state regulations and situations say you can't have visitors on the floor. You know what I mean?
Right. They limit it a little
Especially
bit.
when you're getting cannulated and when your needles are being removed. I understand that. But this disease is one of the most loneliest I've ever
Yeah.
seen. Like, you don't have like any support, and you say, "Oh, go watch a movie."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, you're just sitting there watch a movie.
Uh,
What if I don't want to watch a movie? You know
it's
what I
not like
mean?
you're at a it's not like you're at a spa. It's not like you're or it's not like you're working out and
Right.
even though it's a tough workout, you're gonna after your workout you're gonna feel much you're gonna be totally 100% better after the workout. You know
Right.
they,
So that was one of my pet peeves. Like, even the fact that they give out blankets and earmuffs and gloves, and you have these cute little tote bags and packs, and people coming through to support
mm-hmm,
the patients. Eh, that we don't get that. You know what I mean? That's not
mm-hmm.
something that we get. And I know, at the Catonsville clinic, we had a young lady who made blankets, and she dropped them off, and they were personal blankets, and I thought that was the coolest, neatest thing
Wow,
in the
that's pretty
world.
cool.
You know what I mean?
Very
Like, and that's
thoughtful.
one of the things, she
Yeah.
handmade these blankets. And
Handmade.
yeah, she made them and she passed them out, and I was like, that's awesome. That's what we need more
That is
of.
really cool.
that
Right. I wish
that
more
that
people would do that.
But if we're not here to tell our stories and what it is that we go through, it's not going to reach the person
It's
that's
not.
willing
Yeah.
to do that. So,
The stories are valuable. They are. The stories can mean something to someone else who may be struggling. God only knows. You know what I mean? We don't know what that person may be going through that day. God only knows. And
mm-hmm.
if that person hears your story tonight or another day, because they'll have the opportunity to listen to this and watch this video. If they hear it and watch this and they get uplifted, then God only knows that that person needed to hear that. And
Oh
it's
yeah,
important, valuable,
yeah, you
more
got to
valuable.
pay it forward.
Oh,
You really. Steve had
mm-hmm,
a photo shoot for one of his media broadcasts, and I had came through, did the photo shoot, and I actually made the cut. I was in it, and
Nice.
he was giving out gift cards. You know, like if
Uh-huh.
you came, you can enter to win a gift card. I
Okay.
remember I won. I won the gift card.
You
And
did.
yeah, I
Okay.
did. I took that gift card and I added a couple more bucks to it. I went
Uh-huh.
to the grocery store. I bought everything to make homemade chili and cornbread. I made a
Oh,
huge pot of chili and cornbread,
okay.
and I went downtown Baltimore and I fed the homeless. I fed about 60 people off of that gift
Wow.
card I
From
won.
that gift card.
Yeah,
Wow.
paid it
That says a lot
forward.
about your character, Bridget. That says a lot about you.
Uh, Sunday, I think it was Sunday, my husband and I, we gathered up some clothes. I am a Victoria's Secret, Bath and Body Works type of person. I love the lotions and body sprays and
Uh-huh.
stuff like that. And at one time, my daughter worked there, so I was getting stuff dirt cheap.
Okay.
My husband has been screaming on me like, there is no way you can wear all of this stuff. Like, what are you doing with all this stuff? So there was a homeless project in downtown Atlanta where I got like 3 garbage bags together of clothes, his and mine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I used to be really big on couponing. So I got toiletries together. I mean, I went in the garage and I got all that stuff. And then what I did is I didn't want to throw the Victoria's Secrets lotions and sprays away. So what I did is I put them in individual travel bottles
Mm-hmm.
and took them down there. And when I tell you those ladies, when because they would let you in, you know what I mean, so that you can grab whatever you wanted. When they
Mm-hmm.
saw that stuff, they went bananas. Like, oh my God, you know, the last time I had any of this, I'm like, look, enjoy, because my husband wasn't gonna let me have it around the house anymore. With something as simple as that, you know what I
You're
mean,
right.
can change somebody's day.
Something so small can be something so instrumental and big to someone, though.
Yeah, yeah. You think about, you got yourself together, you smelling good, it makes you feel, pretty. And then
Absolutely. It
there
can
are
be
times on
powerful.
dialysis that
Right.
I don't want to do my hair. I don't want to put makeup on. I don't even want to get dressed. I've had those days where I went to
Mm-hmm.
dialysis in my pajamas, and I'm not even
But
gonna lie about it.
that small thing is something very big and instrumental for you because it gives you confidence, makes you feel better.
Right? Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So again, we all got to pay it for it. And I mean, if I can do it as a dialysis patient, and Lord knows, I'm on a fixed income, but if I can do it,
A lot of them can. And we we're giving out hope, and you've given a lot of folks hope tonight, and I thank you again.
thank you.
Man, it's a wonderful story. Thank you for telling it, and I hope that everybody who's listening will have a heart. Okay, we're talking about kidneys, but I want people to have a heart. All right, because love moves the needle.
Oh yeah.
All
Oh
right,
yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
love
yeah.
moves the needle, and anybody who's been moved tonight by love, please have a heart and be a donor for
Yeah.
Bridget.
Oh please.
Please.
Myself, my husband, I don't care. Anybody that needs. I mean, I'm not selfish like that. I am so elated and overjoyed when I hear somebody got the call and they got the kidney, and then just to see the expression and the fact that they say I peed, like they feel like, that 2-year-old that potty trained and they
Uh-huh.
peed on the potty, like,
It's a new lifestyle.
you
The
know,
whole
they're
new
on
life.
It's
fire.
the start of a new life, though, with that first
Yeah.
urination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
I'm happy for anyone that gets it, and I'm
mhm.
ready for my turn. Like,
It's coming. It's
yeah,
coming.
It's
I
coming. It's
believe that.
coming,
I
Bridget. I
I
feel it.
believe
I pray for it. I know that God loves you. I know that God is listening, and I know that things are going to happen. I'm rooting for you.
Thank
And
you.
I've got so much love for you and your husband. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much
Thank you. Thank
for
you.
letting
Thank
me
you.
be part of your life in this little way.
Thank you. I appreciate you and your brother and everything that it. I told you before, you could have just did what you were doing for your sister-in-law, and then when that was done and over with, you just walked away. Like, okay, we're
Hmm.
done. We did peace. You know what I mean? We did what we were supposed to do. You know what I mean? But the fact that you're fighting for everyone, that's what's up. That
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
some good stuff. That's good stuff. That's good
Thank
stuff.
you. Well, thank you again. I'm gonna let us all continue with our evening, but thanks again, ladies. You're Wonder Woman plus in regards to what you've done in your life and what you're currently doing. And I appreciate you coming on. Thank you again, and I hope you both have a wonderful evening.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you
You too,
again for
Jared.
having. Yeah, awesome
All right.
stuff.
Good
All
night.
right. Good night.
All right, good night. So thank you everybody for watching the show tonight. We've heard from some amazing women. Courtney Brown, her story is just amazing. It's motivational what she does for her son, Carter, and then Bridget. I mean, it's amazing what she does because of her connection with the motorcycle community, how she met her husband, and that they motivate each other. They help each other every day. They feed off each other, and they're a great support system. It's been a wonderful to hear those two stories together, and they mesh well. And I'm just excited to continue to have her information out there so that we can help Bridget, help her get connected with somebody who will have compassion and help become a kidney donor for her. So please, Kidney Warriors, it's a warrior's call. Let's come together. Let's make sure that we share this message. Let's get the word out there because sharing it's instrumental when it's connected with prayer in regards to getting this going, moving it along. So thank you again for being part of what we do here so that we can get this going in the right way, what God wants us to do. Thank you. Have a great evening. God bless.